Welcome. Thank you for joining in and listening to us. My name is Sue DeCaro, and I'm here with my good friend and colleague, Erin Taylor. And today we're interviewing a friend of ours, a spiritual thought leader and writer, Uchenna Ilo. Love to tell you a little bit about Uchenna. Uchenna is a life transformation thought leader, author, social entrepreneur, doctoral researcher, inspirational writer, motivational speaker, gender equality advocate, and humanitarian. His writings have been featured at the Huffington Post, Simple Reminders Network, and various other motivational websites and magazines. His articles, videos, aphorisms, and creative poster designs are regularly published on his various social media channels and have reached millions of people across the globe. Uchenna believes that despite our differences, all humans are entitled to be treated with dignity and respect. He believes that most people currently live well below their potential and has dedicated his life to showing such people the way to their greatness. Uchenna's core message is love and forgiveness, two attributes he believes will change the course of human existence. Uchenna has accomplished academic distinctions across different academic disciplines spanning the life sciences and research philosophy. He holds degrees in microbiology, biotechnology with business and research methods, and has received an academic award and prize for his outstanding academic performance. He is currently a doctoral researcher in the field of business management at Glasgow Caledonian University. His hobbies include playing football, traveling, reading, photography, and teaching. Wow, Uchenna, it's a fabulous biography and lots of incredible things that you've been doing in the world and that you continue to do. Can you tell us a little bit about your education? You're currently enrolled, and I wondered if you could share an overview of your focus in your educational studies.
Thanks, Sue and Erin, for interviewing me. It's an honor, for me to be interviewed by you guys. So let me get to the question. The focus on my studies, on my academic studies, really, it's been a haphazard journey so far. I started, of course, we all started from primary school up to secondary, then university. I had an interest in science, a little bit of interest in science. Then, after my first degree, which I finished in 2001, I started working in a bank, completely opposite, different from what I was doing in the school, because I wanted to do my master's program, but some things went wrong, so I couldn't continue with the master's at that time. I was interested in genetics and, molecular biology. So I started working in the bank to see if I could raise some money to go back and do my master's. And from there, I got stuck in the bank. I couldn't find my way out of the bank. So I was there for like 8 years, I think. Yeah, from 2011 to 2004 up till 2011. That was about 8 years. I spent in the bank, and I had a lot of problems, working there. Then when I lost my job in a bank, I decided to continue to pick up, from where I left off. So I came to Glasgow to study biotechnology with business. And after completing it, I decided to continue, with a PhD. I couldn't get a PhD in the sciences, because I didn't do a dissertation in the lab. I wrote a business plan, so I got a PhD in the business school, and I'm looking at innovations in organizations and how ethics is integrated into innovation. So it's more or less moral innovations, ethical innovation. That's what I'm investigating. How we can create new things, in an ethical way, how we can create good new things. That's what I'm investigating. Following is just synchronistic because I had no idea what the course was about when I started it. So I didn't plan for it as such, The main reason why I started doing the PhD, the real truth about it, is that I needed time to heal from my troubles that I was going through in my life. I was confused and I didn't know what next to do. I didn't feel I was living up to my potential. So that was why I decided to do the PhD in Glasgow, just to stay away from the troubles I was having in Nigeria. And that was the initial reason why I came to Glasgow, to stay away from the problems I was going through in Nigeria. And the easiest way for me to do it, was just to look back and I knew I was good with academics. So I decided, that while I was trying to heal myself here, I could as well be doing the academics and see where it leads me to. And that's why I'm here, and that's how I got here.
It's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. And it's tough to be stuck in a bank and try, to dig your way out into what's really speaking to you. And I love how you continued to stay with your journey, even after 8 years, to get back to the education and what was important to you.
Yeah.
What I also love is how you knew, it sounds like you knew intuitively what the path was for you and what steps you needed to take to free yourself to be able to do what you wanted to do in the world. And I love how you took that courageous step forward and moved and enrolled in school and took those really, really big steps. I think that takes a lot of courage sometimes. I think many people have a desire to do something. Maybe they're not exactly sure what they want to do and they need to find some clarity, or maybe they know what they want to do and they need to find some courage. You had both of those things, which I think is really, really neat. And that kind of leads me to my question about spirituality. Sue and I both know that you're a deeply spiritual man, and we were kind of wondering how your spirituality developed, or was it always strong in your life as long as you can remember, or is this a recent thing, or what?
Okay, thank you. I wouldn't say it's a recent thing. It's not recent in any way. I think I've always had it in me. I've always believed I was a spiritual person. Growing up, I was born into a Christian family. With, I could say maybe my dad was one of my dad was my role model, so he taught me a lot of things. He was more or less a politician, and he had to juggle between his morality and the politics and, things that were happening. So when I was growing up, I always had this spiritual belief. I just believed I had a calling in me. I believe I was called to do good. I've always felt within me as if I was a good person. The meaning of good, is debatable, and I think everybody believes they are good too somehow. Then I think inside of me, I've always had this feeling, that I've always had this spiritual feeling. I just can't explain it. It's not explainable. And through the course of my life, when I look back now, I can see, the path that I've been through, that has brought me to this day. And I've always known that I was running away from my real self. I was running away from who I was, so that I could fit in to society. Because it was odd for me to be a spiritual child, at a young age when everybody was going for parties and, so I was lured into the peer, like, I think it's called peer pressure or something. So I just felt nobody around me was thinking how I used to think, So I'm not sure if it's actually a specific, I'm not sure if it's just me or if everybody feels like that, because I'm not in anybody's mind, I can only talk for myself. And, so I started running away from myself. And in the course of running away from myself, I was running into trouble, because you can only find peace inside yourself. So I was looking for happiness outside, when there was only problems and trouble and drama outside. So, so I was in the wrong place, searching for what was already inside of me, but I wasn't comfortable with it. And I did that for a long time. I did it for about 2 decades or so, before I had the last problem that, where I lost everything. And I could have lost my life. I could have been in prison, That was when that was when I really woke up, So I can say it was tragedy, that brought me back to myself. And I decided that was the last I was going to take. So I decided to be myself. That was in 2012. But I had no idea. I didn't know the way back, because I was very lost. So that was why I started with my academics, and I decided to just be alone. So I left Nigeria and came to Glasgow. I could have gone to London, but I have some cousins, I have some people living there, that I know. But I wanted to be in a place where nobody knew me, so I could start afresh. And here I am.
So do you think spirituality has actually reconnected you to your true self? Do you think that has played a major role in reconnecting you to who you truly are from, the inside out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I can feel, we need to define spirituality in the first place, I believe, because the word sometimes, it scares people and all that. But I believe in duality. I don't believe anybody's wrong or right, There's a dual aspect to looking at life, the nature of life and the nature of reality. What exactly is reality? Where are we? What are we doing? And those are the questions philosophers are still trying to answer. Science is trying to answer. Everybody's trying to find an answer to what exactly is going on. All the connections in the world. Everything is connected. Every single living and non-living thing is interconnected somehow. So we are trying to understand the whole network, really. And this is my own belief, and this is what I believe. There are some people, that believe that everything is just material. There's no spirit. Everything is controlled by the brain and all that. Then there's there's the other side of the people, that believe that there's a spirit, like like we have a soul, that we came from somewhere and we may be going somewhere, So all everybody's trying to explain, what we don't know. As for me personally, I believe, that who I am on the inside is not exactly who I am on the outside. And I've always known, and I've known that for a long time. And on the outside is it's a little bit difficult, being exactly what you feel on the inside. Like we all know what is right, you know what is good, but when you come outside, you're faced with other conflicting values, other things that are happening on the outside, you know, that makes you have to shift a bit, you know, from what you really want to do. So I would say spirituality on the whole, you know, has brought me back to a realization, you know, of the powers, of the potential, you know, that I believe I have inside to bring good, to bring love and happiness to myself and to people around me, basically.
That's beautiful, Uchenna. And I think this conversation is so timely and so necessary. This conversation about the dual nature of how we tend to think, and then kind of the non-duality of reality, and how, you know, things aren't really, and I agree with you, things aren't really black or white, but they're a million shades of gray in between. And I think particularly at this time of the world, the global political climate around the whole planet, I think people are very much torn between. I think fear pulls us into a dualistic way of thinking. It's either this way or that way, and there's right or wrong, black or white, yes or no. And then if we step away from fear and move into more of a space of love, and like you said, that interconnectedness that we all have, I think that we start to be able to see those shades of gray, and we start to be able to see that my opinion is a little bit right and your opinion is a little bit right. So how can we kind of bring those things together and make something good come out of it, or make a third opinion that's even better? So I think that's a really, really important conversation that has to be had all over the place at this point.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I've always been a big.
Go ahead.
Okay,
sorry.
sorry,
No, you go ahead.
I didn't hear a question. That's why I was hesitating a bit. Okay, go on, Sue. It's your turn now.
No, I was just going to say, I think that really speaks loudly too in reference to your writing and the work that you're doing, you know, in being such a successful writer for Huffington Post and, you know, other well-known publications, is that you are spreading that opportunity for people to think about, you know, things in a dualistic way and really open people's minds and hearts to, you know, to what you believe is important and what many of us believe is important, and just creating that whole thought process that people maybe don't have in looking at life from all different perspectives, all the gray areas, and kind of seeing things from an open mind. And I'm, you know, thrilled about your success in your writing, and thought maybe you could talk a little bit about how you have manifested these opportunities for yourself and created such incredible success in what you've been doing in writing and sharing your messages.
Thanks. I like all those comforting words you use, success. And I actually claim all of them, you know, because before I would have been saying I'm not, like I would have been trying to be modest, you know, before, but I think I have to admit that I'm good at the writing, you know. I have to admit that my writing is making an impact on the lives of people.
Yes.
All over the globe. I get messages in my inbox and they tell me, you know, I don't prompt them to tell me. They send me messages, you know, a lot of people. And I also get feedback from the comments I get on Facebook. And I can see the live growth, you know, on my page. I started it this year and I'm on 15,000, about 15,300 and something last time I checked.
Wow.
And it keeps growing every day. The rate at which it's growing now is really it's surprising me too, you know. So so I can see, you know, the growth is measurable. I can measure it through those measures, you know. And how I started writing. You know, what I believe in this life, is that life seems to have prepared, like life prepares us for what we are going to do. And every single thing, that we have been through in our life has brought us to where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that we have been through is necessary for us to use. But the problem is, the problem that most people have, I believe, is that they haven't opened their inner eye yet to actually look at their journey and be able to take advantage of every single mistake or wherever they've been through, everybody that they've met. Everywhere that we have been has a lesson. Everybody that we meet has a message to bring to us. And that's what I realized when I woke up spiritually. I started seeing the message. My dad had trained me to write, and I didn't know he was training me. As a young child, he used to dictate a lot of speeches, and I had a lot of interest, in. I was always the one that was writing all his speeches, and I take them to type. In fact, before I started writing at a younger age in primary school, my dad was a civil servant, so he always used to come back with newspapers. So he would give us newspapers to read and ask us to explain what we understand from the section that he gives us to read. So I was being trained on critical analysis right from, this was before I was 10 years old. I was like, I don't know, like 7, 8, 6 or 7.
Wow.
Then he would ask us to watch the news. And as a small child, news was very boring, We just like to watch cartoon and all that. But he would ask us to watch the news, the first 15 minutes of the news. And after that 15 minutes, we'll go and tell him, what we understood from the news. And I didn't know that was critical thinking at the time, because at that age, being able to summarize, what you heard in 15 minutes and tell all the stories that you heard in 15 minutes, it was a little tasking. I wasn't enjoying it at the time, but I didn't know I was being groomed for what I'm doing now. So right now, it's not difficult for me to read any situation and write about it. I can write I can write an article on this interview now, that we're doing. I can extract abstract concepts, from what I'm seeing now. So I see the world from a different, I won't say, from a unique angle. I have a very unique way of seeing life, and funnily, I don't even read so many books, but people think I read a lot of books. I don't read any book really. I just, I think the only book I read only a few books from beginning to end. I don't know how to put it, I read a lot of articles, I do a lot of observation, and I just love writing. I've always loved writing, writing about life. I was doing it when I was in university, but I was hiding it because I was writing about what I was going through. But I wasn't around people that write. So so I was always hiding what I was writing, and I lost all those manuscripts. But that's how far I came. Yeah, and then my mother showed me my results from nursery school. I was the best in writing. And
Not
in nursery school,
surprising.
we were meant to just write, we were meant to rewrite the alphabet A, B, C to Z or whatever. And everybody was meant to write, just copy the alphabet, write it between the lines, and I was the best at doing that. So, and I cannot remember when I was in, I can't remember the nursery school, I can't remember the school. I can't remember what I was doing until I was about 5 years old or so. So maybe, just maybe, some people have some gifts. I don't know. Maybe. I can't tell. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like your dad saw your gifts before you even saw them. And he sounds like a terrific role model and a great dad to have. And it's wonderful that he was able to kind of give you some tools to be able to strengthen your gift and learn how to use it. And, you know, to be a good writer, you need to be a good critical thinker. And he was giving you these tools before you even knew it, which is really amazing that he had that foresight to be able to help you with that. And then, you know, the people who read your writings now are the beneficiaries of that amazing gift that your dad gave you.
Yeah, you know, I won't know if he was doing it intentionally, because I wasn't the only child, you know, and none of my siblings are doing what I'm doing.
Interesting. But it spoke to you.
I think I was the only one. Yeah, exactly. That's the yeah. I was the only one that was really interested in it, you know, like I just loved him. I loved what he was doing, and he really spoke to me, like you just said, you know, and I think that's why I picked it up.
You know, that's really an interesting point that I want to highlight. I know that I have had conversations with people, and Sue, I'm sure you have as well, with our members at Building Connected Communities. And, you know, sometimes when we do our work, sometimes we do feel like we're kind of at our computer doing our work, and we don't necessarily know who we're touching or who we're impacting. Or if we stand on stage and we speak to an audience, we don't know if our words are resonating, who they're resonating with, what kind of an impact they're making. And when I think about your dad doing these activities with you and your siblings when you were young, it doesn't really matter that it didn't speak to the rest of them, because it spoke to you. And I think that's worth highlighting, because if we are aligned with what we're meant to be doing, if we understand what our gifts are and we have the courage to move forward and use them, it's because we're meant to touch people. And whether we touch one person or 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people, if we're doing the work that we're supposed to be doing, we don't need to worry about the rest. We just have to have faith that the person who needs to hear what we have to say will hear it somehow, some way.
Yeah, definitely, you're correct. You're very right there. You know. There's something I also want to add. You know, I know change doesn't just people need to be ready for change. People need to want it, you know, before you can get it. Sure. Really. And so that's why a lot of us, you know, had to learn it through the hard way. You know, we had to learn it through our sufferings. We had to learn it when we're tired of doing the wrong things. You know, then we had to go back. So I think the message is just out there, and it's just, and it's when you're ready for that message. You know, there's a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
I was thinking of that.
Right. Yes, so true.
Yeah, and it's just like that. You know, there are so many things around us that we're not observing because our eyes are not open to it. You know,
well, and I think
everything around us.
And I think, as you said so beautifully at the start of this interview, is that everything that happens in our life, you know, good or bad, is there for a reason and to teach us all sorts of things that we use in whatever we do next. And everything that we go through, I think, is what we're meant to go through. in order to get to the next level. And, you know, whatever that level is, in order to create that passion within, in order to follow our dreams or follow those passions that are speaking loudly. And so when I think about everything that you've talked about, and the struggles that you've had, and even your dad, you know, preparing you for something that he didn't know, you didn't know that you had within you. Again, it's all happening, you know, things are all happening for the right reasons, because that's how we learn and grow through everything that we've been through. And, you know, again, I just wanted to highlight that. You mentioned that at the beginning, and Aaron and I talk about that all the time, that, you know, everything is happening just as it should be, in the timing that it's supposed to happen, and for the reasons too. And it really seems as if your passion, Uchenna, for what you're doing speaks so loudly in your successes and your interest in really bringing such, you know, wonderful gifts to the world of love and peace and kindness in everything that you do. And so, you know, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, thank you. You know what I'm doing actually? I'm just writing what is in my mind. That's all I was doing. That was how I started this thing. I was just writing my story, writing about my pain, writing about my sufferings, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't writing them, you know, like the story of what happened. I extract the lessons,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what I've been through, and I'm able to write it in poetry. Because I learned a lot from music, from Christianity, from the Bible too, you know. Because I read the whole Bible from the beginning to the end. Even though I stopped going to church, you know, when I was 18, but because I had a lot of questions to ask. I've always been a philosopher, because I was always asking questions of life, you know. I was always asking why we have to go to church only on Sundays, you know. My mom wasn't happy. She was why are you asking all these questions? Just follow, you know, just do what everybody's doing, you know. So when I got to university and I was free, you know, I started reading other spiritual books. I started reading other religious, not books. I got some books on Krishna, and I got some other books too. I was reading. I was seeing the similarities there, you know, in what everybody was saying, and it's all about just kindness, you know, and just being kind to people, and I felt, you know, I had that kindness inside of me. Yeah, so that's where I got most of my own spirituality from. Then I also learned how to write too, because most of the things written in spiritual books are written in parables, and I have that, like, I understand how to think in that direction. You know, I know how to tell those stories, you know, in poetic fashion. And yeah, that's just how I feel. I just feel I'm a poet. Like, you know, I can create poetry, I can create music, and, you know, everything just, like, you know, like, I feel like my soul is dancing inside my body.
Oh, love it. Love it.
What a beautiful image.
Yeah. Soul dancing inside your body. Uchenna, Aaron and I have both, you know, read many of your, well, not many, but some of your writings. And I'm wondering if you could share with those that are listening to us today, where they could find out more about you, where they could see your writings, you know, where they could just see all these wonderful things that you're putting together and putting out there in the world. Could you give us a little insight into that?
Okay. For now, you know, most of the things I do, they're not very organized. I've organized them in a way. I have a website. The website is www.uchennailo.com. And I created the website so I could store all my writings. You know, so I have like 6 or 7 tabs, and I have different writings. I try to categorize the writings, you know, into spirituality. I write about love and relationships. I have one on I call it Inspiration for Excellence, because I'm trying to build a model, for a model for success. Yeah, because I failed so many times in my life, and I've been able to reverse failure so many times. Not so okay, yeah. Majorly, I've had three. There have been three occasions that I've had to reverse failure. From like near death, back up again.
Mm.
And so when I did it the last time, that was 2000 and let me say last year when I woke up, for the last time, I now discovered that I actually have a formula, for reversing failure. And then I started thinking, of how I had been doing it all these years, how I've been surviving. It's a long-term survival framework, and if anybody follows, it, they will probably live happily for a long time. So, so I've been in the lab. I've been trying to generate this model, and that's what I write under that section. I'm building the model now, and every day I learn something new. So I don't know when I'm going to finish it. Then I have one on one on poetry, but I don't really write much in that one. Then there's the last one. I can't remember what it is again. Can't remember the last one. So I have about 6 sections there. And if you go there, you see most of my writing because I have to do everything manually. And I don't have the time, now because most of it's quite updated up until October. I think most of the things I've written on Facebook, I cannot transfer them. I've not had the time to transfer them yet into the website. So then I have a Facebook page, that's where most of my writings are, but it's not, I share other people's work on it. So, and you have to scroll down and down before you can find those things I've written. So that was why I created the website, which is an easier way to just go and see what I've been writing about. So I think I have a lot of books inside those writings.
Beautiful.
I have a lot of books inside there, and I'm going to start when I'm through with my PhD, because the PhD itself is a full-time program, and I'm managing to do it with growing my Facebook page and my social media presence, and always trying to be present too on Facebook. It's not really been easy, so I had to reduce my sleep so I can manage the two of them. So hopefully, once I'm done with the PhD program, then I can now focus fully on my message.
Well, that's going to be an exciting time. I know that Sue and I are very grateful to be connected to you and to watch as you grow and continue to learn and share your message. And I'm very excited about that formula that you mentioned, and I can't wait to hear more about it in more detail as it comes to you. And I just want to take a minute before we wrap up here and acknowledge you for your presence in this world and for all of the wisdom and clarity and observation that you share with others. I think that you are extremely wise and you understand things on a very deep level. And your willingness to have the courage to step up and share that with others is very, very inspirational to me. And I think that many, many, many people have and will continue to benefit from you using your amazing gifts in this world. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for all the nice things you just said about me. I've always known I've had these gifts inside of me, but really, to tell you the truth, most of my life, I live most of my life in fear, and in self-doubt. and I stammered, for most of my life, and it was really horrible growing up. Everything was just wrong. So I never like I was just living like in a shell. And to tell you the truth, my siblings and my mother don't even believe I'm the one doing what I'm doing. They do not like, they can, like, how would I put it? They don't believe it's me that's doing it. So they never knew me. And that was another revelation I also had. You can actually live with somebody, you can actually give birth to somebody and, and raise the person and not know who the person is. It's the human being, you understand, is very, very complex. So we assume that we know people. And the real truth is that we don't know anybody. Exactly. Unless that person opens up, and speaks what is inside, you will never know the person. And it's really something I don't know, it's something I ponder on, every day, how could I live with them for that long? And I thought they knew. At least I thought they had an idea that I was spiritual, Even though I never mentioned it, I just assumed that they would have assumed, Yeah, but they never knew. They were seeing me from a completely different, angle.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And I'm so happy now I'm able to bring out myself, my real self, and this is just who I am. And I'm succeeding at this because this is me. There's no I don't have to read it from any book. I don't have to go to any school to get a degree to be who I am. So it's so easy to just be yourself.
Yes.
And I feel so happy being myself because, there's no pressure being yourself because it is you. It's just like Erin said, it's the courage to be vulnerable, the courage to say your truth, the courage, to say you're wrong when you're wrong, the courage, the courage to ask for forgiveness when you have done something wrong, the courage to just be honest with things. Because that's not what the world wants from us. Yeah, the world wants us to always act as if everything is okay, try to be strong, put up you need to be strong, to survive. But the true strength is actually in our vulnerabilities, So I can go on and on and on and on, but
if I could add to that,
yeah.
That's what you said is all so incredibly true. But I also want to add, with all of that and with that vulnerability comes so much freedom. And I think you really highlighted the aspect when you mentioned being yourself and how, how much pleasure that gives you to just be yourself. It is the easier way to go once you get through the courage and the bravery. And, it really allows for more freedom to be authentic. And what a gift that is when we can give that to ourselves and just be who we want to be and not worry about anything else. So I think that's a beautiful summary of many of the things that we've been talking about today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think we've just been living in a cage, that we've just created for ourselves. It's not our fault. When you're born as a child, it's not your fault because, whoever raised you, unless the person that raised you is conscious, you're not going to really understand what, you're going to be raised to go to school, look for a job, not to be yourself.
Right.
Nobody ever told me to be myself. I never heard it, until this recent times, it was just like, I think from Brian McGill's writings, be yourself, be yourself. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. You read it.
Self I've been running away from, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, you're a wonderful self. We're very excited to have met the true Uchenna and who you truly are. I've gotten to know you today and share this beautiful interview with our audience. And Erin, what would you like to add as we wrap up?
The one thing I would like to wrap up with is saying to you, Uchenna, that I think you're wonderful illustration of the work that Sue and I do with parents all over the place, trying to help them to really open their eyes and open their mind and open their hearts to see the child that is standing before them and not the false creation of who they want to see or dreamt of seeing. And to really give the gift of seeing that child for who they uniquely are is the best thing a parent can possibly do. And so you've beautifully illustrated that point, and one of the things we're so passionate about. So thank you for touching on that.
Oh my, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot you guys were doing conscious parenting. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's how we're going to end the interview. Okay, yeah, you're right.
No worries.
Yeah,
No worries.
well, you know, the parenting as well is an issue. You know, I think, yeah, if we had more conscious parents, definitely we have. Even though the children might still have to go through their own experiences, but once you planted those seeds in them, like my dad planted some seeds in me, you know, they will still realize later, you know, if they have to go through whatever. But if not, some people just pick up things easier than others, you know. Not everybody goes through the hard side. Some people don't really go through that, yeah. So if they have to still, if you keep telling somebody something, you know, or keep making them do some kind of things, you know, that, you know, it's, how would I put it? It permeates their spirits, you know, and it's going to be with them wherever they go. They will always remember it. So
Yes.
I think that's another discussion, the parenting issue, because so many parents try to control, you know, and you know, this is what you should be, this is what we want, and it causes a lot of rebellion in kids.
Yes, so true. So true. Well, thank you so much, Uchenna, for all that you've brought today. And we really look forward to sharing this interview all over wherever we can. And appreciate you joining us, and look forward to having another opportunity to interview you down the road to learn how you're bringing all your work together and the books that you're publishing and everything that you're doing as time goes forward. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time and all your wisdom and knowledge that you've shared with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on this interview. And this is the second interview that I'm doing. I had one with someone earlier last week.
Awesome.
And this is the second one. Yeah, and
Beautiful.
I'm the second born in my family. I'm the second boy. I was born on June the 2nd. So 2 is a very important number for me. And there are 2 people interviewing me today.
Aww.
And I was born in 1977. I have 2 sevens there. And
I love it.
Yes.
I have a lot of things to do too. Really, so that's why I believe I am duality, you know. So, and I understand duality, and my PhD is about duality. It's about how to be creative, you know, which requires a fluid attitude, you know, a carefree attitude. Like, you know, you have to be wild to be creative, and on the other hand, you know, you need to be rigid, you know, to follow the rules.
Yes.
And be ethical, yeah, because you need to be creative within some, because with freedom comes responsibility. So it's responsible creativity that we're talking about. And you know, I just love it that this is my second interview, and I feel it's a blessing for me to have been interviewed today by the 2 of you, Erin and Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Uchenna. And for our listeners, I will post your contact information in the show notes so that they can find you more easily with the links.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
So
thank you so much.
Thank you, Uchenna.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Bye-bye.